I think the Philadelphia Eagles have inarguably the best team in the NFL. And I'll tell you exactly why I think that in just a second. But super quick, massive shout out to Brandon Rambo for the suggestion of today's video. Nice name. Go drop him a sub. Their link is in the description. And if you want a shout out just like that one, just let me know what team to do next, because that's where I get all of my video ideas from. And then when I pick your comment, I'll give you a shout out, tell everyone to go sub to you. I'll even drop you a sub. And of course, I'll rebuild the team you want me to. So it's a win-win-win. And of course, y'all are goated, so I'm just assuming we easily hit the like goal on the last video. I'm just recording this right after, so I don't know yet. So let's again shoot for 250 likes. And we might even be at it already, but let's see if we can get to 3,300 subs. I think we're like less than 20 away, so if you like Madden rebuilds, that's all I do, so be sure to subscribe. We're growing really quick. Already well on pace to hit 4K within like the next month and a half, so thank y'all so much for that. But very last thing, turn on notifications if you want to get notified whenever I upload these banger rebuilds. I do 3 a week, Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday, around 4:30 on the weekdays and 2 p.m. Pacific on Sunday, just so y'all know when to catch them. But that's enough plugging. I'm really excited to talk about this team. I absolutely love what the Eagles front office does. So get your drinks, get your snacks, get whatever, as y'all know, and let me tell you why I think this Eagles team is goated. So where do I even begin? Well, let's talk about what they did in the draft. What they did in the draft is just take pretty much the best Georgia player available with every pick. I mean, this is seriously the Philadelphia Bulldogs. Like, you drafted Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter, Keely Ringo. They traded for DeAndre Swift during the draft. I feel like there were more. Who am I forgetting? Apparently that was it, but still, that's a shit ton. Oh yeah, and you already had Jordan Davis on the roster from last year's draft. And not to mention, they were like the best players available with each pick they took. Jalen Carter, if he had no character concerns, probably should have been the first overall pick. He's a monster, just obviously the racing thing that killed his like trainer and a coach or something like that, and then showed up to his pro day out of shape, didn't really do much there, just kind of left or something like that. But on the field, he is a very good player. Nolan Smith, also a first-round pick. It's ridiculous that this team got to have 2 first-round picks. Again, their front office is crazy. Fairly raw player, I guess you would say, but was kind of the team leader at Georgia, is a very athletic player. I think he broke the combine record for like linebacker vertical jump or something like that. So hopefully he can keep like Jalen Carter in check. Also, just a fair warning, I'm gonna mix up the names of Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis fairly often in this rebuild, so be prepared for that. I'm gonna say the wrong name for each of them a few times. And then you also picked Keely Ringo, another Georgia player who I thought ended up being fairly underrated. He's really stiff, but I feel like overall he's, for where they got him, I thought that was a really good value pick. Maybe he works out, maybe he doesn't, but either way, I think he was worth the chance in the 4th round. And then also you picked Tyler Steen. Not gonna spend too much time talking about him because he's a lineman. Nobody really is too interested in linemen, but I did think that was a good pick, and I like how much they keep up the offensive line here. They lose one, well, we already have one in place in Cam Jurgens, but let's take another one for the future of this team. And then when Kelsey retires, we can move Jurgens back to center and slide in Steen at right guard, or draft another lineman and put him in. I love what they do here. They always make sure they have a full group and some, and I love that. So overall, I thought they absolutely crushed the draft. Also, don't question why this defense is a 3-4. It just made it a better scheme fit. It's a 4-3 playbook, so it's going to play as a 4-3. Don't worry about that. And overall, your free agent moves I thought were very good too. You took 2 risks at running back, but that's a group where you can kind of get away with taking risks. You traded for DeAndre Swift during the draft, which they gave up a lot of value for him, but he could end up being a very good player. He was a first-round pick at one point, or early second, I can't remember. You added Rashad Penny, who I was depressed that the Seahawks let him go, because when he was healthy, he was legitimately the best running back in the NFL in like 2021 or whenever that was. He like blew everybody else out of the water in the like 6-game stretch that he was healthy. He was such an explosive player, but just is literally never healthy. So I don't know what they're going to get from him here. He could be a monster. He could be hurt all the time. You don't really know. I liked the addition of Olamide Zaccheaus, just a good 3rd/4th option. I liked the addition of Terrell Edmonds, another former first-round pick that hasn't really worked out, but he was kind of a reach to be fair, but will be a solid player here. And I think that was everything other than the whole weird like Darius Slay cut and re-sign thing. I don't know what that was about, but he's back on the team now. I would have hated if they let him go because I do think he is like borderline the best corner in the NFL, either one or two. So yeah, I'm just a very big fan of this team. I haven't even really talked about the studs they have here. I mean, Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Lane Johnson, Jason Kelce, Jordan Mailata even. Hell, Hassan Reddick, Brandon Graham was really underrated last year. Josh Sweat, Darius Slay, I talked about him. James Bradbury has definitely reemerged as a really good corner in Philadelphia. This team has so much star power. It's ridiculous. Even Fletcher Cox is still pretty good at this point in his career. This team is absolutely filthy, and even when they're like veterans retire like Jason Kelce and Fletcher Cox and maybe even Darius Slay, you have players waiting here to replace them, which I think is such a good way to build a team. Because worst case scenario, you're gonna have someone else to step in. So I don't know, that's a ton of talking about this team. Like I said, I just really love what they do here. I do think it is the best and deepest team in the NFL. I mean, the Chiefs are up there, the Bengals, just in terms of like pure roster talent. The Cowboys even have like a sneaky good roster, the 49ers, but I do think the Eagles do have the best. But okay, that's enough talking. Let's actually get into the rebuild. I don't think I'm gonna make any moves here. We're just gonna simulate this first year, so I'll see y'all at the midseason point of year number 1. And as if this team needed to be even better, we have a camp standout for Josh Sweat. We'll go rushing the passer, of course. Good lord. Okay. Is there an argument to be made that this is the best defensive line of all time? I mean, Brandon Graham, Josh Sweat, Fletcher Cox, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, and I guess you even throw Hassan Reddick and Nolan Smith in there, not to mention even lower players that could start for a lot of teams in Milton Williams, and I guess Derek Barnett when healthy, which is rare. Like, that's a absolutely disgusting group of players, and I'm jealous, to be honest. Okay, well, that's about as good as we could be. At the midseason point of year 1, we are 5-1. I honestly kinda thought this team would do poorly. I don't know why I thought that, just Madden has kind of taught me that in this game, the worse or the better team you have, the worse you do. I don't know why it's that way in this game, but that's kind of just how it seems to be. But we're actually doing well here at 5-1. Now, we're gonna have some re-signings. I did already check these, but I'm actually gonna wait. It's Jason Kelce and Brandon Graham. They are both very interested for obvious reasons, but both of them might just retire, and even if they don't, I would rather just wait to re-sign them at the end of the year because they're gonna regress and they're gonna be cheaper. And then the rest of the players here are just kind of depth pieces, so I think we're good for now. Typically, year 1 re-signing and free agency is pretty light because it's just kind of leftovers from year 1. Not year 1, it's leftovers from real life free agency and all that. So it's definitely going to be light, but I mean, that was a quick mid-season. There isn't much for us to do here. So with that, let's get to the end of year 1 and hopefully we can do pretty well. All right, well, here we are at the end of year number 1. If you've seen one of my videos before, y'all know why we're here, but super quick, I know I just plugged, but be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Again, these are like all I make, so if you enjoy rebuilds, you might as well subscribe because that's all I do here. And be sure to like the video. It helps the channel grow, helps push it to more people, so I'd appreciate if you did that. 250 likes is the goal. I know y'all can hit that because y'all are goated. And also, let me know what team to do next for a shout out in the next video. It helps me know what y'all want to see. And you know, if you want to be mentioned in one of these videos, I guess that works. You can forever prove to people that you were an OG of the channel when I inevitably hit 5 million subscribers. Ooh, I hear an Amber Alert. That's great. But of course, here's a look at the team at the end of year number 1. We have not Bryce Young. Holy shit. Am I okay? Jalen Hurts playing up to a 92 overall. AJ Brown is probably going to hit a 99 overall by the end of the rebuild. And then here is a look at the defense. I did end up starting Sidney Brown. I didn't remember if I showed that or not, but that is what I ended up doing. But in year number 1, we finished 14-3, making the playoffs. Now, is that back-to-back 14-3 years for the Eagles? Yeah, it is. Okay, so definitely not losing a step here, even though this team could arguably be even better this year, because I don't really see where this team downgraded. Maybe linebacker, because you lost TJ Edwards, but Nakobe Dean could be really good. And I guess safety, because you lost CJ Gardner Johnson. But other than that, I mean, you stayed the same or upgraded at like every position. season. But for season stats, Jalen Hurts almost 5,000, well, 200 yards away, 4,800 yards. I guess I shouldn't say almost 5,000. 33 touchdowns, 8 picks. Very, very good season. DeAndre Swift did hit 1,000 yards, but only 3.5 yards per carry. That's not super great. 11 touchdowns, though. I mean, obviously 1,000 yards is good, but that's a lot of carries to get barely 1,000 yards. That's not super great. Devontae Smith finished with 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns. AJ Brown with 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. Oh my god, I thought that was Rashad Penny. I don't know why. Almost 1,000 yards for Quez Watkins, too. Definitely spread the ball out here, like I spread my balls out on your mother's forehead. 6 touchdowns for him, though. Almost 1,000 yards for Dallas Goedert, even in 10 touchdowns, and even 500 yards for DeAndre Swift. That seems like a crazy amount of receiving yards. I don't know why. Blocking, the offensive line was very, very good. 0 complaints for anybody here. That might be the best offensive line performance I have ever seen for Madden. On defense, Nakobe Dean had a pretty good season overall, but led the team in tackles with 121. Also, 6 tackles for loss, half a sack, and a pick. Not bad. Tackles for loss, Brandon Graham with 18, and then 13 each for Hassan Reddick and Fletcher Cox. And then sacks, 13 for Brandon Graham, 9 for Josh Sweat. Only 7 for Hassan Reddick, which is still solid, but I think he had, what, like 18 and a half in real life this year? I mean, almost triple the amount he had here, but 7 is still good. And then Fletcher Cox with 7, only 1.5 for Nolan Smith, though. I guess he was a backup, but still. Well, no, he technically started, but was a backup edge. You know what I mean. And then interceptions, good lord. Lots of players with 1. 1 for, I'm not even going to read them out, actually. Just a lot of players with 1. Yearly awards, MVP goes to Dak Prescott, which hurts even worse here than it normally does because, obviously, we're the Eagles, and Jalen Hurts was at number 2. If Dak Prescott didn't have a monster year, Jalen Hurts would have been MVP. And then Trey Lance at number 3, Baker Mayfield at 4. What the fuck? This is a certified Madden moment. What team are we? We're the Eagles. Offensive Player of the Year goes to the white boy Cooper Kupp, as per usual. Jalen Hurts at number 3. No other Eagles. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Cam Jordan. That's interesting. Where are the usuals? Where Aaron Donald at 5. What about Nick Bosa? That's interesting. But Brandon Graham got 4th. Jeff Okudah on the Falcons up there. I still don't really know why the Lions traded him. I mean, I guess I don't understand it. I don't know why you spend such a high pick on him. He does decently well this last year, and you're like, yeah, fuck him. Like, I don't know, man, but whatever. Christian Watson wins Offensive Player of the Year. Who was the actual? It was Bryce Young. Okay, so Bryce Young is Offensive Player of the Year. What the fuck? Why is Jameson Williams in a gray box? I've seen that glitch before. Who is it? Is that a new picture? No, I'm probably tripping, but what the hell? Unless they like changed his picture and fucked it up, then I don't know. But there was one other player this happens for. It's like a Madden generated face for him, and it's a gray box around him. I can't think of who it is, but he's like just some random free agent. I don't know. It's weird. This game has some weird glitches. Jack Campbell wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. Nakobe Dean at number 5, even though he isn't technically a rookie anymore. So definitely a very good first season. I will definitely take that. Hopefully that's a sign of things to come for this rebuild, and hopefully I didn't just jinx it, but I probably did. But let's see who we're going to be taking on in the divisional. The 10-7, 77 overall LA Rams. How the hell did they make the playoffs? Oh god. Okay, well, we have a breakout DB for a playoff game. Who's this going to be? Terrell Edmonds. Okay, we'll definitely take that. 200 yards or wait, hold the Rams to 200 yards, passing yards or less, or get Terrell Edmonds 1 interception, forced fumble, tackle for loss, or sack. I wish I could speak right now like a normal human being, but y'all know me, I don't do that very well. And then we have a hot opponent. Shout out Bobby Schmurda. Let's always gotta be confident. Going with the insult opponent one's just kind of stupid because it makes the opposing team even better, but I guess I could right now because it's only year 1 and it doesn't really matter. We'll obviously jump into the playoff games in years 3 and 4, assuming we make them, but I'm not going to jump into this one yet. It's only year 1, and always gotta play it cool. Not going to guarantee the fucking win here, especially because I know Madden loves to favor the worst overall team, but let's see if we can somehow beat the team that is fucking 8 overall lower than us. Okay, we do, but not by a lot. We score only 17 points. We beat them 17-10, and we have a lot of scenarios here here. So breakout player, did we get a dev trait for Terrell Edmonds? Okay, I was gonna say I doubt it, but he did hit it. So that's really nice. Star dev for Terrell Edmonds in 5,000 XP. That's pretty huge. And then we have a recap for the hot opponent. Why does his hair look so weird? Why is it like light? Well, we get plus 10 like everything and 2,500 XP each player. So that's massive. And then a recap for the first of many. Lots of scenarios here. So 7 staff points. Thank you. And we're going to be taking on the Carolina Panthers in the conference championship. Seems like they are typically here. We have 5 overall on them. We're an 85 to their 80. We were 14-3 to their 11-6, and we have the home game, so I can't wait to lose. It's going to be great. And of course, we do have quite a few upgrades here from the big playoff win. So what's our team overall at now? 87 with all the morale and upgrades and all that. So we have a really good roster already. I mean, in some rebuilds, we're fine with an 87 overall at the end of the rebuild. We have a 91 overall offense and an 83 defense. The morale is definitely helping out here too. But with that, let's simulate this game and see if we can somehow get a win. And we do, 35-14 against the Panthers. And we're going to be taking on the Cincinnati Bengals in the Super Bowl. One of the other teams I said have one of the best rosters in the NFL. But they're an 85 overall, 10-7. I think these are the 2 Super Bowl losers from the past 2 seasons. So either way, one of them will eventually end up with a Super Bowl anyways. That's a Booger McFarlane ass take. Yeah, hey guys, I think one of the 2 teams in the Super Bowl will win the Super Bowl. No shit. But I guess we'll jump in here. I mean, this is the Super Bowl. The rebuild can already be a success in year number 1. That would be low-key really disappointing if we lose it, but I mean, we still have 3 more years, so we'll see what happens. Well, here we go in the Super Bowl. Already in year 1, the GOAT Mikey McDingle is taking us to the Super Bowl, and let's see if we can take down the Bengals. Well, we go up early 14-0, but they do get a touchdown, and they tied up in the first quarter. This is a high-scoring game so far. We do kick a field goal, but they get a touchdown to take the lead. We get a touchdown to take it back. We're up 24-21, now 31-21. They do kick a field goal, and they drive, but they don't score. We get a touchdown to take it to a 2-score lead, but they get a touchdown right back. We kick a field goal, and we win the Super Bowl in year number 1, 41-38. I didn't even realize they scored at the end. I'm glad we got an extra field goal because that could have gone to overtime easily. Very close and very high-scoring game, but we do win it. So already, this rebuild is a success, and I mean, imagine if we can win multiple Super Bowls in this rebuild. I mean, hey, we could technically go 4 for 4. We'll see what happens, but it looks like Devontae Smith wins Super Bowl MVP with 100 yards on 7 catches with 4 touchdowns. Literally over half of his catches were touchdowns, and that is definitely an amazing way to start out the Super Bowl. So year number 1 is a massive success, and let's try to make this team even better. I feel bad for not even having to do anything and winning a Super Bowl already, but it is what it is. But for re-signings, I do think we are going to be able to get the top 2 players back. We can't afford giving Jason Kelce and Brandon Graham just their regular contracts, but assuming he accepts this, which I sure hope he does, but Brandon Graham, he's very interested. 1 year, 13.3 mil. Let's see if he takes it. Are you fucking kidding me? I literally said, assuming he takes it, which there's no real reason for me to say that. He should take it theoretically because it is a full interest bar. He is entirely interested, and he just straight up said, fuck you. It's not that expensive. It's actually less money to tag him than it would be to re-sign him. But Jason Kelce, I don't want to risk it, so I'm going to go player friendly. 2 years, 28 mil. Okay, he takes it, and now we can just tag Brandon Graham. That worked out in a stupid way, but it worked out regardless. So that's not what I expected, but it works. That's another certified Madden moment. But obviously, we have negative money, so we're not going to be able to do anything in free agency. There are no cuts we can make. I checked. So we're just going to get straight to the draft, and hopefully we can crush it, maybe close to as well as the Eagles did in real life this year. You know what? I might be cooking up some weird shit. Hold up. So once Brandon Graham retires, which is probably at the end of the year, I feel like it would make sense to transition this team to a 3-4. I know it's laid out like a 3-4, but it isn't one, but I feel like it would make makes sense. I mean, wait, how big is Josh Sweat? 6'5", 265? That could work as a 3-4 outside linebacker. I mean, that might be a little thick, but not too bad. Trust me, I know thick. I know your mother. But, I mean, we really just have 2 pass rushing outside linebackers as our starters there that are kind of too small to move down to defensive end. And then once we move Josh Sweat up there, I mean, we could just move Jalen Carter or Jordan Davis or Milton Williams out to defensive end. Like, we'll just have those 3 starting on the D-line. Josh Sweat and Hassan Reddick as the starting edges with Nolan Smith as a really good 3rd guy. I think that might be the plan because it would save us from having to draft another defensive end for really no reason. So I think that'll work out. All right, well, here in the draft, the Seahawks have the number 1 overall pick and the number 5 pick, so they better build a dynasty or I'm going to be disappointed. But let's simulate to our pick. Of course, we had to trade it away because, I mean, we still have the 2023 picks essentially, so I had to kind of make it at least mostly the realistic picks for this year. You know, wait, there's still a good QB left. I mean, we literally don't need QB at all, but draft and trade, question mark? I don't know. That's not really realistic, but he does look really good. That would be really lucky if we did actually need a quarterback here. The problem with rebuilding this team is they don't really have any needs. I mean, you gotta squint really hard to find the needs. I guess receiver, but Quez Watkins did really well last year, so do we really need one? I don't know. I guess guard, but like not really, because Cam Jurgens plays well and we have Tyler Steen waiting to replace, I guess, Jason Kelsey essentially. We might need like a safety or a middle linebacker though. I don't know if I want to replace Sidney Brown yet though. I mean, he was good his first year, but there just aren't any good linebackers here really. Well, he has bad block shedding. Ooh, he's really slow. Yeah, I don't know about all that. Ooh, this guy's really good though. Eric Colon. Who was the Jets guard with the name Colon? He was a really nice player. He was a guard. I don't know. That's immediately who it made me think of, but was his name just straight up Eric Colon? No, it was Willie Colon, which is a really unfortunate name. I forgot about that, but shout out to him, I guess, and the probably like 5 people watching this that remember him. I guess we're gonna go with a safety though. He doesn't look that good unless there's like a receiver. Hold on. I'm all over the board right now. Jamal Klein might have to be the pick here. Or we could hope that we get him in round 2. I think that's the plan actually. Where is Eric Colon is supposed to go round 3 to 4. So hopefully he'll be available with the late 2nd round pick. We're going to start this off with Jalen Brackens because he is projected to go first. He is 6'1", 207, 21 years old, out of Ole Miss. Not the greatest combine, has elite agility, which, I mean, he was 2nd and 7th. I don't know about elite, but fair enough. He has decent enough ratings. Let's take him. Normal dev, unfortunately. So I don't know if he's even going to start, but I was just hoping for a dev trade there. Unfortunately not, though. And then with this pick, let's take Jamal Klein. He is 5'9", 186, 21 years old, left-handed, just like me for real, out of Texas A&M. A deadly 9 bench press reps. Let's go. But he ran a 4.24, has elite speed, change of direction, and acceleration. Overall, good ratings too, from what I can see. A deep route, but also B release, which is rare for these like really fast receivers past the first round. Would have tied the record if this was like pre-2017, because I think Chris Johnson ran a 4.24, so I think he would have tied it. And then obviously, I almost said Josh Gordon. John Ross broke the record. I don't know why I'm giving the whole breakdown of the fucking 40-yard dash history. Let's just take him. Normal dev, of course, but he has 99 speed, so could be a good overall. We'll see. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised that he has 99 speed considering he tied the old 40-yard dash record, but you never know with Madden. And thankfully, Eric Colon is still here. It could be Colon for all I know, but I think that's how you say that last name. I don't know. Colon's funnier. Let's say Colon, okay? Let's be immature here. Let's not pretend to be immature, or let's not pretend to be mature. Let's not be something we're not, okay? But he has elite speed, change of direction, and agility. Overall, very good combine, and has A, awareness, man coverage, zone coverage, tackle, B, pursuit. Can't wait for him to have normal dev as well. Okay, he does have hidden, thankfully. 89 speed, 88 excel, 90 90 agility for a linebacker? Yes, please. Please and thank you. Okay, we didn't need to crush the draft like that, but we definitely did. Jalen Brackens is better than I thought he would be. I thought because he didn't have a dev trait, he just wouldn't be that good. I thought I just kind of whiffed, but he's a 74 overall. He is definitely not bad at all. I guess he'll start for us. I mean, I feel bad replacing Sidney Brown already, but he was only a 72 overall anyways. Like, it's fine. I'm sure he'll still get snaps somewhere. But yeah, Jalen Brackens is already a better player. And Jamal Klein, I wish I guessed his overall because I was just assuming that he would be a 75, and he is. 69 short route and medium route, double nice. But obviously the 99 speed is crazy. Obviously really good spec catch and deep route too. Looks like a really good player and really good release. He'll be our number 3 receiver immediately. And Eric Cologne is a 73 overall. What's he going to be when I move him to middle linebacker? Still a 73. Okay, we'll definitely take that. So I guess he'll be our number 1 linebacker over Nakobe Dean. I mean, he is a higher overall already, I think, so that definitely makes sense. Obviously really good speed and excel. Also good strength, solid pursuit, solid tackle. Definitely a good player. Steal for the end of the second round. And then, this was the last pick I took. I didn't record it, but Kevin Kruger, another linebacker who was the pass coverage speedy type, is a 71 overall. Even faster than the other guy. Really good hit power, really good tackle too. So we definitely absolutely destroyed the draft, especially considering the picks we had and the team we already had to begin with. So we're definitely looking pretty good. I mean, we got tied for the 4th best player. Well, there was a 75 overall center in the 5th round. Good lord. So yeah, we did really well. But with that, let's get into year number 2. All right, well, here's a look at the team heading into year number 2 of the rebuild. I wouldn't say there are major changes on offense here necessarily, but we didn't really even need to make changes here. I mean, this is a disgusting offense already. But we did draft Jamal Klein. I think he was our 2nd round pick. I already can't remember. I'm fucking stupid, but you've seen him a million times already. You've seen him enough, you know. Very good player, very fast, and that kind of completes this receiver group. And then on defense, also not too many changes, but we did add Jalen Brackens in the 1st round. Should start for us at safety. And then Eric Colon at linebacker, who I guess will be the number 2. I could put him at the number 1, but you know what? We will. He has a better dev trait than Nakobe Dean. We'll give him the number 1 job. And also, Jalen Hurts went up to Superstar X Factor, which is massive. So hopefully we can win maybe at least 1 MVP with him throughout the rebuild. I mean, he seems to win it when we're not rebuilding the Eagles. Surely he'll win it when we're rebuilding the Eagles and making them even better than they normally are, right? I guess we'll find out. But with that, I'll rearrange the specialists here, and I'll see y'all at the mid-season point of year number 2. All right, well, at the mid-season point of year number 2, we are once again 6-1, or were we 5-1 last year? I don't know. Either way, only 1 loss here. Very good record. Oh, and I actually want to show y'all something. So, few interesting things here on the defense. Jalen Brackens hit a breakout, so now we had a breakout for both of our starting safeties, as Jalen Brackens goes up to star dev, which was the one concern about him. He didn't have a dev trait, but now he does. And he's only 21 years old, so could be around an 85 by the end of the rebuild. We'll see. And Eric Cologne has superstar dev. He didn't hit a breakout or anything, but just straight up had it. Looks like a very, very good player. Did we have any other hit-ins? I mean, we have that other linebacker, but I think that's it. Either way, we'll take a superstar and a dev up into a star. Absolutely massive. And then what are we going to have for re-signings? We don't have much money, and by not much money, I mean we are very negative in terms of cap space. The good thing is, these are replaceable players. I mean, Brandon Graham, we expect him to probably retire, although I thought that last year and he didn't retire, so we'll see. DeAndre Swift didn't play well last year. I'm sure he will this year because he needs a contract, but I don't know. And then Fletcher Cox would be our 3rd guy anyways. I mean, we have Jordan Davis, we have Jalen Carter, like we're probably good. And then it's like depth players like Derek Barnett, Greedy Williams, Quez Watkins. It is a lot of depth players, to be fair, more than I expected, but I think we'll be good. So we can't re-sign anybody here, but we kind of expected this team to be a little broke. But with that, let's get to the end of year number 2, and hopefully we can finish with another very, very good record. Now that I said that, we're going to miss the playoffs, but we'll see what happens. All right, well, I feel bad plugging on y'all again, but, you know, if you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe. 250 likes, 3,300 subs, and then I'll have another one of these rebuilds out on Tuesday. And then, of course, let me know what team to do next for a shout out, like the one in the intro. But here is an overall look at the team. I mean, this is just a disgusting roster, to be honest. But in your number 2, we finished 12-5, making the playoffs once again. Now let's check out how that happened. Let's check out some of the season stats. Jalen Hurts, oh my god. 4,700 yards, 45 touchdowns, 10 interceptions with an S. I know my editing kind of trims off the S's in sentences a lot of the time, so hopefully it doesn't do it to that, but we'll see. But this season definitely hurts if you are a rival of the Eagles. I am hilarious. You better subscribe right now. Please end my suffering. DeAndre Swift finished with 1,200 yards, only 3.8 yards per carry though. I mean, I guess you can't really say a 1,200 yard season is bad, but you would hope that he hits at least that many yards in 319 carries. Did have 9 rushing touchdowns. Jalen Hurts had 7, and then Rashad Penny had 10 rushing touchdowns. AJ Brown was our leading receiver with 1,300 yards and 12 touchdowns. Devontae Smith with 1,200 yards, 16 touchdowns, and Jamal Klein as a rookie with 891 yards, only 4 touchdowns, 760 yards and 8 touchdowns for Dallas Goedert though. Blocking wasn't quite as good as last year technically, but was still very good. And on defense, Eric Cologne led the team with 137 tackles, 105 for Nakobe Dean. Tackles for loss, we had 13 from Brandon Graham and Hassan Reddick, and then 11 from Josh Sweat and Jalen Carter. Sacks, we had 13 for Hassan Reddick, 11 for Brandon Graham, 6.5 for Josh Sweat, and 5.5 from Jalen Carter. And then interceptions, we had 6 from Darius Slay, 2 from Eric Cologne, Terrell Edmonds, and Jalen Brackens, and then 1 for a few players. So that was a very, very good season once again. Not quite as good as last year in terms of record, but still a good season. And Jalen Hurts gets cucked for MVP once again. Josh Allen wins it this year. Jalen Hurts at number 2. Nothing but pain once again, unfortunately. Offensive Player of the Year also goes to Justin Jefferson. I'm kind of surprised it wasn't Jalen Hurts, considering he did have a really good rushing game too, but it is what it is. The white boy Cooper Kupp at 2, of course. Jalen Hurts at 3. Devontae Smith at number 7. And Defensive Player of the Year goes to Aaron Donald. Hassan Reddick at 4. No other Eagles up there. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Kiefer Crocker. Yeah, that's a name. That's all I can say about that. Jamal Klein at number 5. No other Eagles. And then Defensive Rookie of the Year does go to Eric Cologne. That's not super surprising. Jalen Brackens at number 4. And then that's it. So does that mean Eric Cologne's gonna get X Factor? I sure hope so. But we have a playoff rivals scenario here. Of course, we're gonna be taking on the Cowboys in the wild card. And let's go hard-hitting brawl. I feel like we have an old defense, so I feel like the hit power will benefit us more than the play rec. And we have a one last hurrah. I'm guessing Brandon Graham or Jason Kelsey, one of the two? Jason Kelsey, okay. So it looks like he will probably retire, but plus 10 morale for everybody. I mean, he was probably going to retire regardless, so that's probably best case scenario. But with that, we're not going to jump in yet. It's only year 2, but let's see if we can take down the Cowboys. And we do, 30-23. We are up to an 88 overall already, which is pretty huge. But we have a recap for the 2 scenarios we had. That's my least favorite. Y'all already know that if you've seen a rebuild of mine before, but that is my least favorite thing that anyone ever says in this game. Nobody speaks like that. I've said it before, I'll say it again a million times over. Nobody would say that in real life. And then we have a fucking one last hurrah scenario. 2 more wins and we're in the Super Bowl. No shit. That's the point of the playoffs. We're gonna be taking on the 11-6 San Francisco 49ers in the divisional round here. Let me just check some real quick. Are their quarterbacks healthy? Looks like it, so can't wait to hear the excuses if we beat them in this game. But we might not, and if we don't, it's fine. A, we already have a Super Bowl, so this is successful, and B, it's only year 2, so let's see if we can beat the 49ers here. And we do not. We lose 42-32. I don't even want to click the one last hurrah. Jason Kelsey might not retire if I don't. And hey, at the very least, we get some upgrades, But with that, let's get into the offseason and let's make this team even better. All right, well, weird Super Bowl here. The Giants beat the Broncos 38-21, kind of smoke them. I feel like that's happened before. I feel like there's just like a connection there. Oh yeah, I guess Eli and Peyton Manning, I guess the former Manning Bowl, but I guess the Broncos aren't even really Peyton Manning's main team. I don't know. Definitely interesting Super Bowl. I definitely wouldn't predict that, but hey, I mean, Brian Daboll's a good coach. The Broncos could be good if Russell Wilson goes back to how he used to be. I mean, you never know. Could be a potential future Super Bowl. We'll see. If I predict that, that's crazy. But I guess I didn't really even predict it. Madden did, but also I kind of did. You know what? I'm locking it in. Broncos, Giants, Super Bowl 60. But for re-signings here, damn, Brandon Graham still has not retired. I think it's time to hang him up, old man. I mean, he's still good, but like, at what cost? He's 36. Is there anybody here we really want back at all? I mean, I guess we'll re-sign Brandon Graham. I mean, he's down to an 82 now, but he still plays really well. He does re-sign on a one-year deal. We still have 10 mil left to work with. DeAndre Swift had 1,200 yards last year, sure, but he got so many carries. We could upgrade there for sure. I think we're just good on everybody else here. So with that, let's get into free agency with not negative money this year, and hopefully we can make some moves, but we'll see. And actually, are there any cuts we can make? No, not any that would make sense. It looks like Hassan Reddick went up to X Factor, which is kind of crazy. I didn't even really notice he went up to Superstar last year. I just assumed he had it for some reason, because I do think he started with Star, but yeah, he did get X Factor this year for winning best linebacker. I didn't even know he won that. We'll definitely take it though. But yeah, no cuts here that would really make any sense. So we're just gonna have to accept not having too much money once again. And of course, Jason Kelce did retire, so I guess we're just gonna do what the plan was and move Cam Jurgens inside to center. Thought we would be doing this last year, but we are finally doing it. And it does actually look like Lane Johnson retired, so I guess at least we have something to replace now. We have one need finally. On defense, we are still looking very, very good. Nobody retired here, so we're chilling. But I guess we'll maybe look for a tackle and maybe a guard. I guess we'll do what the Eagles do in real life and just draft so many linemen that we could never run out, ever. In free agency, really the only move we can afford to make is re-signing DeAndre Swift. There unfortunately isn't really an upgrade at running back here. I was thinking of going with Antonio Gibson because checking his stats, it does look like he's had higher yards per carry with 5 and then 4.1, but it wasn't in that many snaps, so I don't know if I can trust it. Plus, I just feel like DeAndre Swift is the more hype player, I guess, right now, so we'll go with him. But let's see if he even accepts this contract. He does not. Let's try one more time. And we are not going to get him. The Jags are very interested, so we will withdraw. We'll pull out like I do not with your mother. And I guess we'll offer Antonio Gibson a contract and hopefully he signs. So let's see if we can get him, and it looks like we do. So he was worst case scenario, but he could end up being better. We'll see. All right, well, here in the, I guess, 2025 NFL draft, the other Pennsylvania team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, has the number 1 overall pick. We don't pick until number 26, but let's simulate there. And hopefully, what was that guy's name? Oh, I thought it was Diamond Chancellor. It's Demond Chancellor, which is still a cool name, but not as cool as Diamond Chancellor. Either way, I definitely know what we want to do. We want to take an offensive lineman. It's just who? And I think we want to take multiple of them. Ooh, this guy would be so good if he wasn't weak. This guy isn't a scheme fit, but he looks really good. Amani Ross, although his combine wasn't that good, he looks like a low injury player, which could be a good sign. He might be the pick. There are also a lot of agile linemen here. That's obviously our scheme fit. Ooh, this guy's really fast, and he's only the 3rd fastest left tackle. This guy's 4th. I don't know. I can't find who's faster, but I did find this other interesting tackle. There are a lot of good tackles. It's just none of them are like clearly the best. Rod Meeks does look pretty good though. Good combine, overall good ratings. He is 6'6", 314, 21 years old, out of Clemson. Let's take him. He does have hidden dev. Okay, that's all I was hoping for. Really good speed, 76 speed for a tackle is crazy. Solid strength. We knew it wasn't going to be great, but it's at least decent. So overall, I think that was a good pick. We'll obviously slide him over to right tackle. Was he the best lineman available? I don't really know, but I think that was at least a good pick. With this next pick, I guess we'll we'll go with this basically defensive tackle in Randall Oglesby. How do you say that last name? I don't think I've ever had to pronounce that last name in a rebuild before. Oglesby? I've never heard anyone with that last name ever, but Randall Oglesby or whatever. He's 6'5", 308, 22 years old, left-handed just like me for real, out of Oregon State. Good speed for being that big. I mean, we're going with two big, fast players with our first two picks. Ran a 4.85, 35 bench reps at the combine. Overall, good-looking ratings. Let's take him. He also has hidden. Typically, these big, late first, early second defensive ends don't have good dev traits, but he does. And he also looks very athletic. Kind of fits our plan of moving to a 3-4 in the future. I guess we don't have to do it yet because we still have Brandon Graham, but we'll see what happens. Who knows? Maybe he'll be 40 and still playing. You never know. Yo, this guy looks low-key kind of nasty. He's not very quick, though. If he is still available with the next pick towards the end of the third, I'll take him. But I think we're going to stick to the Eagles' game plan and go with another lineman. Do we want Ooh, I do think I want Tim Davis. He doesn't have much power, but that's fine. Really, really good combine. Let's go Tim Davis. He's 6'4", 308, 21 years old, out of South Carolina. Sounds like a good plan to me. Hidden dev, another strong, fast player. I meant to say fast and big, but I guess that works too. And it looks like the running back is still available. Is he guaranteed gonna be good? I don't know, but he does look pretty amazing. Like, you can't deny, he does look really good. A ball carrier vision, break tackle, carry, stiff arm, and trucking. Does he have receiving ability? No. Do we need him to? No, we have no, we don't have DeAndre Swift, but we'll figure something out there. But let's take him. Randy Bradley, he is 5'10", 225, 21 years old, out of Bama. Maybe he could be our Derrick Henry, I don't know. Let's take him. He does have hidden dev, okay. I didn't know if he would for sure, because I'm typically not very good at taking running backs, but is faster than I thought he would be. I swear I've had players run like a 4.39 and be slower than him, but either way, hopefully he'll be a good overall. We'll see. All right, well, we've been staying crushing these drafts. Once again, another very, very good one. Rod Meeks, our first pick, was arguably our weakest pick, but he's still a good player at a 73 overall. He's gonna start for us. Good ratings, pretty well balanced player in terms of run and pass block. Is definitely more of a finesse player, but hopefully he'll be a good tackle. Randall Oglesby or whatever. You know what? I don't feel like pronouncing that for the whole rebuild. I'm just not going to. Randall Richards. That sounds like a male porn star name now that I think about it, but that's okay. We accept that here, I guess. I don't fucking know. But looks like a good player. Not as good of power moves as I expected. I mean, it was B power moves, which sometimes isn't great, but as a defensive end, I thought it would be pretty good because it's B compared to other defensive ends. It's not like it's a B compared to, like, if he was an outside linebacker, like comparing it to other outside linebackers who happen to be like cover players. It's comparing it to other defensive ends who are defensive ends, but it is what it is. Still looks like a good player. And Tim Davis was maybe our best pick. He was only a 75 at center, which is good, but he's a 77 overall at guard. He's going to be a day one starter for us. I guess I was going to say, I don't know what we're going to do with Cam Jurgens now, but he's going to be starting at center anyways because Kelsey retired. So that all works out. And then Randy Bradley, the running back, is a good player, 75 overall. Obviously the hidden dev. I definitely like that pick a lot. I'm not the best at finding good running backs, but when I need to, I guess I can find good ones. And then I simulated it out, and the first thing the CPU thought to do was, oh yeah, let's take a third string quarterback in the 4th round. Thank you. Super happy with that pick. He already has gray hair. He's like 23. What has you so stressed? What has you tripping, dog? And then they picked like another third string player, like a third string tight end. Sometimes the CPU does better than me. Sometimes it does shit like this. Okay, they definitely did change some of the faces here, because that's a new face for Kingsley Keke. He had like a full mohawk or something in the last picture, but that's definitely new. That might be a new one for Dante Fowler too, maybe. Antonio Passanio, maybe. But like, I think they also gave a new one for Myles Gaskin, but it has the box around it still. So even when they try to add something to this game, they still fuck it up. Like, why are you so worried about like the faces of the players in the game when you could be actually fixing something important in this game and adding more features to shit? Like, I don't know. At least they're doing something. But even when they try to do something, they kind of fuck it up. Is that what Travis Homer looks like? It's interesting. All right, well, here is a look at the team heading into into year number 3 of the rebuild. Definitely some new faces here on offense. We added Tim Davis through the draft at a 77 overall. Should hopefully be a very good player, but as y'all know, overall doesn't really matter in simulation. I mean, it kind of does, but not really. So we'll see what happens. And then Rod Meeks is a 73 overall at right tackle. I guess he's the Lane Johnson replacement. Oh yeah, and we added Antonio Gibson at running back and Randy Bradley. So we'll see what those two can do in their first year here. And on defense, we didn't really do much in terms of starters, but we added Randall Richards. Is probably going to play more of a role when we do switch our defensive scheme, but is still a good player to begin with. So overall, I really like the look of our team. And with that, let's get to the mid-season point of year number 3. All right, well, I'm not going to plug on y'all this time. I feel like I've already done that way too much. It's just we don't typically make the playoffs this much. And I just like to use that time as a reminder to like and subscribe. So I guess I am plugging here. Do that if you haven't already. I feel bad for plugging so much, but you got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean? But in year number 3, we did finish 11-6, once again making the playoffs. Now, not as good of a record as I would have hoped for, admittedly, but still a good record. Almost every team in our division did have a winning record this year. The Commanders barely did not. But let's check out some of the season stats. Jalen Hurts may be his worst year so far, but still a good one. 4,600 yards, 34 touchdowns, 10 picks, really high completion percentage. Still a good year for sure, but I've seen much better from him. Antonio Gibson wasn't great, but arguably better than DeAndre Swift ever was, just because of the yards per carry, but still not great yards per carry at only 3.8, but did hit 1,000 yards, had 7 rushing touchdowns. Jalen Hurts almost 500 yards on the ground with 9 touchdowns. Randy Bradley only 188 yards, but 12 touchdowns as the goal line back. Receiving, Devontae Smith with 1,250 yards and 13 touchdowns. A.J. Brown with 1,100 yards, 6 touchdowns. Dallas Goedert, 900 yards, only 5 touchdowns though. And Jamal Klein with 850 yards, only 5 touchdowns though. So numbers were definitely lower this year. It is what it is. The offensive line did not seem to be the problem though. Rod Meeks was our worst lineman, and for a Madden rookie, that's not a bad season, only allowing 8 sacks at right tackle. For real life, that's not great, obviously, but for Madden, considering he's a rookie, that's not too bad. Everyone else was very good. On defense, Eric Cologne led the team with 131 tackles. Kevin Kruger, who I did start this year, with 115. Tackles for loss, 15 for Reddick, 14 for Carter and Sweat, and 12 for Brandon Graham. And then sacks, 10 for Brandon Graham led the team, 9 for Jalen Carter and Josh Sweat. Only 7 for Hassan Reddick though, so that's not super great, especially considering we just paid him a ton of money, but it is what it is. And then interceptions weren't super crazy like they have been, but still good. 3 for Eric Cologne, 2 for Maddox and Slay, and then 1 for Brackens and Ringo. That's what, 7 total? That's not good. Or 9 total, but still not super great. MVP goes to Lamar Jackson here. Jalen Hurts at number 3. It's actually kind of rare to see Lamar win MVP. That's kind of different. Offensive player of the year does go to the white boy Cooper Kupp as per usual. Jalen Hurts at number 3. Devontae Smith at number 10. I almost missed him. Defensive player of the year goes to Aaron Donald as per usual. Jermaine Pratt at number 5 on the Vikings. I don't know why that caught me so off guard, but it did. It's definitely different. Oh, did they change Deion Jones's picture? He looks weird there. He looks short or something, or small. Why does he look so weird there? Did they just make him I guess he is kind of zoomed out. That's weird. Max Knight of the Buccaneers wins offensive rookie of the year. Randy Bradley at number 3. Kind of surprising. I guess he just had touchdowns. And then defensive rookie of the year goes to Will Shirley of the Cardinals. 1940s ass name, as I always say. Will Shirley. But no Eagles up here. I guess we didn't really have anyone in contention, just the defensive lineman we took. But either way, we are in the playoffs here. And without further ado, I guess there isn't much for us to do here. So let's jump in against the Falcons. Of course, they have the home game. They must have won their division, which I still feel like that's a stupid rule. I just feel like the better record team should get the home game, not the division winner, but it is what it is. Like, congrats, bro. You won your division by default because it sucked. Now you get a home game. But either way, we are in the wild card here. Finally jumping into a playoff game, but let's simulate this out and hopefully we can get a win. So no scoring here in the first quarter. We do finally put up a field goal, but they get a touchdown to take the lead 7-3. They're up 14-3, 21-3 going into half. That's not great. Oh, that's a bad score for the Falcons, and we are starting to come back, but we're definitely not going to. It is 3rd 31-20, and that's going to be the final score as we get beat by a worse team in the playoffs. That's Madden. Still haven't changed the Jalen Ramsey meat pick. Okay, it's gone now. We have the purple and yellow Super Bowl here. The Vikings take down the Ravens 35-24. Interesting Super Bowl there for sure. Do the Vikings still have Kirk Cousins? Did they win a Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins somehow? No, they didn't. Okay. It is James Smart. It looks like this was his second year actually, finally getting the starting opportunity, and definitely did pay off for him. Oh, he was a wait, was this the quarterback we were thinking about taking? I mean, not seriously thinking about taking, but like I said, if we need a quarterback, we could take him. Or like if we needed a quarterback, it would have been really good for us because he was there in the second round. Hold on, let me check. Let me pull up the tapes. Okay, yep, that's exactly who that was. I guess that's kind of unfortunate, but obviously he wouldn't have started for us anyways, so it doesn't really matter. But I definitely did call him being good with Superstar Dev here, Super Bowl winner for the Vikings, which I guess I'll take this as an opportunity to rant. Super Bowl wins and wins in general are such an overrated stats for quarterbacks. I think people forget that there is a whole ass other team around the quarterback, a whole ass coaching staff with the quarterback. Like people act like, oh, the Eagles, or what's a good comparison? What's the stupidest one we could dream up? Oh, like let's say in this fantasy land, not that this happened, but let's say last year, like the Texans beat the Chiefs. Like, imagine that happened. Like, does that mean Davis Mills is better than Patrick Mahomes? Like, sure, quarterback's very, very important, but I feel like people forget that quarterbacks can't single-handedly win games, and wins in general are such a stupid fucking quarterback stat. It means a little bit, but there's so many other factors that go into a team winning a game rather than just straight up their quarterback. It's not a 1-versus-1 throwing competition. It is a full football game with weird scenarios that can happen, weird reffing, whole teams around them, whole coaching staffs, the dependency on if it's an away or home game, like if it's a snowy or rainy or sunny game, how that affects like certain running or just pure pocket passing quarterbacks. Like, people are stupid is what I'm getting at here. That's the whole point of this. People are stupid, and it annoys me, possibly more than it should, but it is what it is. I don't know how I went on a full ramble of quarterback win stats based off of just the Vikings quarterback here, but it is what it is, man. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, checking back the good old recordings, the good old tapes, I figured out that my OBS did a stupid fucking thing that it's done before, and I've had to re-record the first year before, but it did a thing where it like locked, or it like unselected the display capture, like what it's recording, and it just froze on a loading screen. So it basically recorded all my audio, but it was just stuck on a loading screen and didn't record any of the good old visuals. So I'm basically just gonna have to scrap the midseason. But basically at the midseason we didn't really do much. We just re-signed, I think it was Jake Elliott and Hassan Reddick, and we were 5-2. And that's really all that happened. Nothing else really, but it might be confusing why we jump straight from the beginning of the year to the end when I say we're gonna be at the midseason, but now y'all know. But for re-signings here, who do I want to bring back? I definitely want Darius Slay back, but does he want the Eagles back? I don't know. We'll offer him player-friendly 2 years, 31.6 mil. Will he take it? Probably not, but we'll offer it. Oh, he does. Okay, cool. We will definitely take that. James Bradbury, how has he been in this rebuild? He has 1 total interception. He does get a good amount of pass deflections, though. Not so much the first year, but these last 2 years, he's gotten a decent amount, but nothing compared to him in real life, because pass deflection numbers are really low in this game in general. I guess we can offer him neutral, though. 1 year, 7.3 mil. He'll probably reject it. No, he does take it. Okay, I just need to be pessimistic and then they'll re-sign. Brandon Graham, holy shit, dude, he still hasn't retired. He's 37. Dog, you need to retire. It's time. Terrell Edmonds, I guess I'll re-sign. How has he been stats-wise, though? I know he got the breakout year one, but has he really done anything since then? Yeah, he's been pretty good. Well, he hasn't gotten that many he was really good last year, but or 2 years ago, English, holy shit. 2 years ago, I guess, technically, but this last year, 0 interceptions, only 3 pass deflections. That's not super great. We could potentially upgrade there. We'll see. And then Avonte Maddox, only 1 pass deflection, but 2 picks. We could maybe find someone else that could develop. We'll see. And then Josh Sweat, he's been good, but I don't know if he's been like 20 mil per year good. He has been pretty good though. You know, I think I'll pass. He's kind of expendable here, I guess. He's kind of like I wouldn't necessarily call him the fifth guy, but he's like one of 5 guys that can play here. So I think we are finally gonna transition the defense into a 3-4. It just makes more sense. We'll let him go and Brandon Graham go. Ooh, Randall Richards has superstar. Okay, we definitely want to get him on the field then. So yeah, it'll probably be Richards at defensive end, Carter at defensive end, and then Jordan Davis as the nose tackle, and then Reddick and Smith as 3-4 outside linebackers. So really, the only thing we'll have to change is Carter to the outside, and then the scheme, and that's it. Or the playbook even, because we're already a 3-4. Sounds like a plan to me. So I didn't really think we had enough money to really do much here, but we're going to be going after 2 of the biggest players in free agency. Literally 2 of the 3 best here. It's going to be Aaron Jones. Obviously, we haven't had the best running game in the world. I mean, we've gotten the yards, but the yards per carry, like I've said a million times, hasn't been very good. So we're going to try to bring in Aaron Jones. Is 30 here, but it doesn't matter. This is the last year of the rebuild either way. So hopefully he can do much better. And then we're also going to go for Antoine Winfield, one of the best safeties in the NFL. We have fine safeties with Sidney Brown, and then I'm so bad with the Madden generated player names and all that, but you know who I'm talking about, the safety we drafted year 1. So both of these would be pretty big upgrades to arguably our 2 biggest points of weakness. We do have the lead for them. Let's see if either of them sign. Oh shit. Well, we get Aaron Jones at the very least, but Antoine Winfield rejects us to go to the Chiefs. Well, I guess that frees up money to go after someone else. That's one way to look at it. Shit, that kind of sucks. All right, well, these 2 aren't quite as glamorous as Antoine Winfield would be, but they are 2 pretty good players in Tyson Campbell, obviously the major one here, and then James Houston is the other one we're going to go for. We have Keely Ringo, but Tyson Campbell would technically be an overall upgrade, so definitely makes sense to me. However, the Falcons are also very interested, so there's no guarantee that he signs with us, even though he does have like full interest in the team. Just Madden does stupid shit with the whole player interest thing. It almost seems like it doesn't matter a lot of the time, even though it should, because it literally takes everything into account. I've ranted about this before. It's stupid as hell. There's no way that if you have the lead for the top offers that the player should reject you, because it's already taking literally every possible thing into account. I don't know. It's just stupid. Another stupid thing in Madden, but we'll see if we can get him. Again, there's no guarantee because we don't have a for sure lead. And then James Houston is the other player we're going for. Obviously had a very good rookie year for the Lions this last year. We don't really have a power rusher outside linebacker, and that's kind of more so our scheme. Like our rush ends in the specialist thing are both power, so James Houston would be a scheme fit there, but let's see if either of these 2 sign. I kind of doubt Tyson Campbell signs. He doesn't. Okay. We're just striking out big here. So now, I mean, oh, that's a interesting face scan for Richie Grant. I liked the old one better. He's looking a little homeless there. Go back to the old one. Is that even him? That almost doesn't even look like him anymore. I don't know. That looks like a new face too. God, it's gonna take some getting used to with the new faces. All right, well, we're just taking whatever upgrade we can get. Honestly, we can probably pull out of James Houston if we get Quiddy Pay. Pause. And we'll also go for Tutu Atwell to be a solid 4th receiver. We're really trying to just get something here. We have the lead for Quiddy Pay. Will we get him? Probably not, but let's see. So both of them sign. Okay, thank you. We get Quiddy Pay and we get Tutu Atwell. So we end up with something here. I would definitely prefer Antoine Winfield over these 2, but we'll take it. It is what it is. All right, well, here in the draft, the Broncos have the number 1 overall pick. We don't pick until 24. I don't know how much that matters, though. I mean, I don't know if we're getting a starter here anyways, but we can sure try. Oh, this corner looks really good, actually. He's not super quick, but he might be the pick. He just looks like the best player available, which is what we probably want to do here. The safety is also wow, this is a confusing player. A pursuit, A hit power, A awareness, B zone coverage, B tackle, but D man coverage and D play rec. I have no idea if he's good or not. We'll figure it out if we take him. Oh, this corner also looks really good. He's actually fast though. Rasheem Friedman. Yeah, fuck it. Let's take him. Of course he has normal dev, but he'll be a good 4th corner. We probably weren't getting a starter here anyways, so that works out. Could free us up to do something though. We'll see. Do I want to take another secondary player? I don't know. Ooh, this guy skipped the combine and his pro day. Has low injury, so he was probably hurt for both of those. Kenny Vincent. Let's stock up on the interior defensive line like the Eagles like to do. He looks very good. Could also take the safety, which he might be the better player, but I don't know. Let's take Kenny Vincent. He does have hidden dev, 76 speed, 87 strength, 81 jumping even. Definitely looks like a good player. Now in the third round, this is probably going to be our last pick, and then I'll simulate it out, but is there anybody good? Ooh, there are some good centers. We could again stick with the Eagle way and just take a million linemen. Ooh, there's some good middle linebackers. Not that we need any at all, but this guy is really good. Same with Zach Barkley, potentially, but they just would literally not see the field at all. Maybe ever. Neither would a lineman, to be fair, but this guy does look really good. His combine wasn't great, though. Oh, shit. Everett Knox's was, though. All right, last pick I'm going to take of the rebuild. Everett Knox. He is 6'3", 315, 22 years old, out of Louisville. Let's take him. Normal dev. God damn it. All right, well, I'm fine having the first L draft when it's the least important, so I'm cool with that. Okay, well, we definitely did not have a terrible draft. Rasheem Friedman, although he didn't have a dev trait, is a 76 overall. Now, the plan was, and it still might be, to move one of the corners to safety. Friedman, it looks like, probably stays the same overall, just a 77 from morale. And Ringo, it actually looks like he goes down surprisingly, even though I think he could play safety in the NFL. He's actually kind of similar to like Trey Flowers or something. I do think he's better than Trey Flowers, but Trey Flowers was overhated in general, so I don't know. But let's move. Well, I don't know. Rasheem Friedman wouldn't even start at safety either way. Sidney Brown, well, no, I think he would, because Sidney Brown's only a 75, but also Sidney Brown could just progress past him during the year. I don't know. We'll still move Friedman to safety. Not the greatest tackling, but fine enough pursuit. Good hit power for a corner, so that definitely works out, especially for someone who's 5'9". He is thick, though, I guess, at 201. Pause. And then I guess we'll move Brackens to strong safety. I guess that works out. It's a maybe weird thing to do, but it works. And then Kenny Vincent is only a 71 overall, unfortunately. I was thinking he would be a lot better. He is really athletic, just his tackling isn't that good, his block shedding isn't super good. He looks fine overall. I mean, he's not bad. Everett Knox is a 73 overall. Of course, no dev trait, unfortunately, but does look like a good center for sure. And then I don't know what the CPU is doing. They've been terrible in this rebuild. Their best player was a 68 overall who isn't a scheme fit. I mean, he's too small to play 3-4 defensive end. He's too big to play 3-4 outside linebacker, so thank you, CPU. Very cool. All right, well, here is a look at the team heading into the fourth and final year of the rebuild. I'm surprised we're only an 84 overall because this team looks really good. Obviously, this year we added Aaron Jones, and I think that's the only change on offense, but we have Jalen Hurts up to a 95, Dallas Goedert up to a 92 with morale. The offensive line is looking nice. Devontae Smith, even though he hasn't gotten a better dev trait, is up to a 92 with morale. AJ Brown is at a 99, will be at a real 99 by the end of the year, so this offense is disgusting. And then the defense also looks really good, but somehow it's only an 81 overall, even though we only have like 3 players lower than an 81 overall, and I guess technically Keely Ringo, but I don't even know if it factors a third corner into overall. I don't know. Either way, the team is looking very nice. I obviously transitioned it to a 3-4. We're gonna rock with the Steelers defensive playbook. I have a hard time knowing what defensive playbook is good. They seem extremely inconsistent, like every single one of them, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. But with that, I'm excited to get into year number 4, and hopefully this team can do pretty well. All right, well, plugging for literally like the 6th time of this video now. Again, if you haven't already for some reason, like, subscribe. It takes you like 2 seconds. It helps me out so much. I'd appreciate it a ton. Plus, it'll help you get recommended more of my banger rebuilds. And you can say you were an OG of the channel, but here is a look at the team at the end of year number 4. I wish we could have built a better team, but I actually remember this from the last time I rebuilt the Eagles. They do have a pretty not great cap situation, so it does kind of get tough, but we still built a really good team at an 87 overall. I have had better. I've had like 90-ish teams, but this one is definitely not bad at all. AJ Brown surprisingly didn't hit a pure 99 throughout the year. Still needs like over 3,000 more XP, but could hit it by the very end of the rebuild. I don't know. know. Jalen Hurts is up to a 99 with morale, which is really fun. He's been good. He hasn't been as good as when I'm not rebuilding this team, which isn't too surprising. It feels like the simulation typically goes against the team you are rebuilding, but it is what it is. But in year number 4, we finished 13-4, making the playoffs. Now let's check out some of the season stats here. Oh my god, okay. As soon as I say Jalen Hurts hasn't been super amazing for us, he does this. 5,200 yards, 48 touchdowns, 10 picks, really good completion percentage. He was a monster this year. Rushing, Aaron Jones was definitely a good signing. 1,500 yards for him, 5 yards per carry, 12 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts on the ground with over 400 yards, 5 touchdowns. Even Antonio Gibson had 8 rushing touchdowns. Receiving, Devontae Smith with 1,500 yards and 17 touchdowns. AJ Brown with 1,150 and 14. Even Jamal Klein with 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns. Dallas Goedert with 800 yards through the air with 6 touchdowns. And I think Aaron Jones did hit 2,000 total yards. He hit like 2,004 yards, or 2,008 yards it looks like. Quick maths, I guess. The blocking was really good. Cam Jurgens wasn't great at center, but the rest of the line was really good. Jordan Mailata is a monster in this game. God damn. Kevin Kruger actually led the team in tackles this year somehow with 103 for Eric Cologne. Tackles for loss, 15 for Hassan Reddick, 14 for Carter, 12 for Jordan Davis, and then sacks. Hassan Reddick was really good with 15.5, but outside of him, nobody really did anything. Jalen Carter was good, 7.5, but Jordan Davis with only 4.5. Kwity Paye with only 4.5. It looks like he didn't really fully start though, but 774 snaps, you'd hope for more than 4.5 sacks, especially when we're paying him a ton of money. Randall Richards only 3, and Nolan Smith with 0, not even half of a sack. Ugh. All right, fair enough. And then interceptions, 3 for Eric Cologne and Jalen Brackens, and then 1 for a few players. So it looks like our offense definitely carried. Our defense was still fine in terms of yards. How about scoring? Second in points scored with 555. Fourth in points allowed. So both really good. And Jalen Hurts does win MVP here. So the goal has been achieved. He does win an MVP. So we have the Super Bowl. We have a Jalen Hurts MVP. This rebuild is already a success. It doesn't matter. I wish we could have won one after, like, I actually had an effect on the team, because year 1, that was just straight up the Eagles team, but apparently I just suck at rebuilding. I don't know. Jalen Hurts also wins Offensive Player of the Year. Devontae Smith at number 5. Defensive Player of the Year goes to Nick Bosa. Hassan Reddick at number 4. I was hoping there was a chance he would win it, but I guess not quite good enough. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Mason Bonner, or I'm immature, so I'm going to say Boner. Any Eagles up here? No. And then Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to Tyree Cox. So we have Boner and Cox winning offensive and defensive Rookie of the Year. That's great. No Eagles up here. That's not super surprising though. But with that, I guess that's really all for us to do here. And let's jump in against Arizona. We do have a much better team. At an 87 overall, I think it is now. It says 86, but I think it's an 87 now with the upgrades. And the Cardinals are only an 80. So let's jump in here and probably lose, would be my guess. All right, well, here we go in the wild card against Arizona. I can't wait to lose. I'm super excited. Let's simulate this game out and see if we... What the fuck, dude? I hate this glitch so much. Go away. All right, let's simulate it out. No glitches this time, somehow. No scoring in the first quarter here. The Cardinals do finally put up 3, and it looks like they are going to score again. They go up early 6-0. Our offense is just doing nothing. The best offense in the NFL all year, and we haven't scored. We finally score in the fourth quarter, but it is just a field goal, and the Cardinals, a 7 overall worst team, a 9-8 team, takes us out in the wild card as we, the best offense in the NFL, only put up 3 points. Have I mentioned enough times that this game is terrible? Jalen Hurts, the MVP winner, throws for 96 yards, a 13.3 passer rating. When does the contract with EA and the NFL, when does that expire? Because it couldn't come any sooner. They better drop them. This game is cooked. But it is what it is. I feel like we built a pretty good team. It's technically an upgrade from what we started with, so that's all we can hope for with this team's cap situation and all that. I feel like we did really well with drafting. We did what we could, but we couldn't overcome shitty Madden simulation. But again, if you enjoyed, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe. For literally like the 8th time in this rebuild, I'm sorry. It's just tradition to plug whenever we make the playoffs. I didn't expect to make the playoffs literally every year, but we only have one Super Bowl to show for it. We kept losing to worse teams, which is the norm in this game, unfortunately. I mean, upsets are a thing, but they shouldn't exist this much. But it is what it is. I really hope y'all did enjoy. I enjoy rebuilding all these these teams, especially with all these rookies lately. But again, thank you for all the support, generic YouTuber term. But like, seriously, I appreciate it. But thank you all so much for watching. And with that, I'll see y'all again in the next video. Goodbye.